Hello friends, welcome to our channel. Today I'm going to share what are some of the different ways to immigrate to Canada. I know there's a lot of people around the world who really want to come to Canada. There are different programs and based on what your skills are, where your what your education is, you can immigrate to Canada under 10 different programs. I would say 12 different programs. So some of these are Express Entry, Provincial Nominee Program, Atlantic Immigration Program, Startup Visa, which is mostly for businesses, Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot Program, Healthcare Workers Permanent Resident Program, Permanent Resident Pathways, that's especially for people from Hong Kong, and there's family sponsorship. If your spouse, your parents, grandparents, or your children who wants to come to Canada, you can sponsor them. Quebec has another skilled workers program. There's caregivers program, self-employed agri-food pilot program, and then there's for temporary resident to permanent resident pathways for people who are temporarily staying in Canada, how they can become permanent resident, and also for the refugees. So in this particular video, I'll go over the express entry program. In the comments, do let me know if you would like me to make a separate video on any of these classes. Then I will be able to go to these separate programs, but making one video for all the classes will be too big. So I'll just go, I want to keep my video short and sweet. So I'll go over the express entry program in this particular video. So through the express entry program, there's three different programs. I'll go over these programs with you one by one. There's certain eligibility criterias which you should meet in order to qualify for this program. So you can go to any of these links here. You can see what the minimum requirement are. You can calculate your points. I will again make a separate video for how can you calculate your points under the express entry program. Okay, and then um, so in this program, basically the first step is, as I mentioned, you need to look at if you meet the minimum requirements. Minimum requirements are requirements where you can apply, but that does not guarantee that you will be qualifying for immigration. So that's the minimum requirement. There are certain minimum requirements so that you can submit your profile. And then if you meet the minimum requirements, then you gather all your documents and then you have to submit your profile. Once you submit your profile, you will get a score. As I mentioned, there's another comprehensive rating system, CRS system, that calculates how much points you will have for different criteria. And ultimately what happens is the Canadian immigration will have express entry draws, and based on the number of entries, they will have a cutoff list. So based on that cutoff list, they will invite certain candidates who meet that top criteria or top percentile, whatever that number is. It changes with every draw, and then an invitation will be sent, and then once you receive the invitation, then you can apply for permanent residency. There's a lot of details, but I will not go through each of those details until unless if you are interested. As I mentioned, let me know in the comment box and I will try to go over some of them. I will make a separate video on how to calculate CRS point or comprehensive ranking system points, because I think most of you will find it interesting that you can even check if it's even if there's even a value to apply for express entry, or how can you increase your point in CRS system so that one that you may qualify for some of these invitations under the express entry. So let's look at within express entry how many different programs are there. So under the express entry, there are three different programs: Federal Skilled Worker Program, Federal Skilled Trades Program, and a Canadian Express class. Each of these program has its requirements. I'm gonna show you a very simple way. Like all this information is available on the website, and I'm sharing it from there. I know most of you may already know about this information, but for some of you it may be new. So let me know if it was something new and useful for you again in the comments. I really appreciate, because I like to see what the viewers, what kind of a value viewers get out of the videos that we make. So when we look at, I'm looking at all the three programs. So let's look at what the criteria is. For Canadian Experience class, they have two separate language criteria. So CLB of 7, if you have, if you're working in NOC 0 or A, and CLB of 5 if you are in B. And so what these 0, A, and B means, this information is actually also available here. So if I click here, you'll be able to know 0 means any management job. If you're a manager, then that kind of counted as a skill type 0. If you're in a professional job, which calls for a degree from a university, then it will be a level A. Examples would be architects, engineers, other people in other professional jobs like CAs. And then the next one is the skill level B, which is technical jobs and skill trades. So electricians, plumbers, technicians, all those. And it calls for a college diploma or a training as an apprentice. And then there's skill level C. I will not go into skill level C and D right now, because if you look at Canadian Experience class and Federal Skilled Worker class, they only look at 0A and B. So those are the three skill types that they're looking for. And then what kind of experience you need. So because it's Canadian Experience class, as the name suggests, Canadian experience. So you need to have at least Canadian experience in one of these three classes. So Canadian experience. If you do not have a Canadian experience, then you do not qualify for Canadian experience class. Then federal skilled worker, maybe a way for you, because in this it says Canadian or a foreign experience in one of these categories. Okay, and similarly, if you look at the skilled trades, then they are asking for a CLB of 5 and 4, and then they say Canadian or a foreign work experience in skill class B, right? So it doesn't ask for A and B because this is trades. As I mentioned, trades is basically if you have a diploma or you're an apprentice, and then you're working as a technician, as a plumber, electrician, welder, all those things comes under the trades. And then the next requirement is about the experience. So in Canadian experience class, you need to have 1 year in Canada in the last 3 years. So as I mentioned, because it's this Canadian experience class, you need to have a Canadian work experience. So if you're in Canada, maybe this is the way for you to go. But if you are an international candidate, as majority of you who are watching this video are, then maybe the second program, which is the Federal Skilled Worker Program, is an opportunity for you guys. So in this one, it says 1 year continuous within the last 10 years. So that's a requirement. Job offer in Canadian Express class is not required. Also in Federal Skilled Worker Program, it's not required, but for Federal Skilled Trade, it is a requirement. So if you do not have a job offer, then federal skilled trades may not be a program suitable for you. But then again, there's still two programs, Canadian Experience Class and Federal Skilled Worker, where you may qualify to apply if you do not have a job offer. So I want to let you know that it says not required, but in Federal Skilled Worker FSW, if you have required, if you have a job offer, it gives you additional points in the express entry, and those additional points are really helpful during the express entry draw, because those numbers are based on a cutoff list. I again want to emphasize on it that a job offer is not required under the Federal Skilled Worker Program, but having a job offer gives you an upper hand because you get more points and you may be able to make through the cutoff list and may get an invitation from Immigration Canada to apply for permanent residency. So again, not required, but if it's there, if you have a job offer, well and good. And for the skilled trades, they say there should be a valid job offer full-time employment for a period of at least 1 year, and or you should have a certification of qualification. So if you go, we'll go into this detail later on. Education wise, for Canadian Experience Class, not required. For Federal Skilled Worker, this is secondary education required, but if you have post-secondary education, then again you get more points for that. For skilled trades, no job and no education is required. So let's look at, so now based on let's review all these three programs. So if you have a Canadian experience in 1 year in last year, so maybe you have worked in Canada in last years, but you are not in Canada, you have to leave for some reason, you can still qualify to apply for this program because you still have that 1 year of Canadian experience in last 3 years, so you can apply for that. But if you are an international candidate who do not have a Canadian experience but only a foreign experience, then you may want to look at Federal Skilled Worker Program. And then if you are in trades, then Federal Skilled Trade Program is something that you can look at. So in case of the skilled trades, as it mentioned that either you have a valid job offer or you do have a certificate of qualification. What it means that if you are an electrician, then you should have a you should be certified by the by an organization or a body within that province. So let's say if you are in any of the province, then there will be an organization which looks after all the electricians, and then you need to have a certificate from them. That may require you to write certain exams or maybe interview, or maybe your experience is too much is enough, but again that's something that requires further look into. And the other I know, like for most of the engineering even technician jobs, there are provincial bodies that controls the certification program. So being an engineer, you need to get a professional engineering designation from the province. Similarly, for being a technician, if you're working as a technician, you can get a technician or a PTech or different designation, and each province has a different body that looks after those certifications. So that's something, if you are interested in, then you can go to some of these institutions, how to get certified, what are the other governing bodies for the trades, you can further look into it. So I hope you like this video. The information that I shared in this video would have provided some more clearance, clarity to you based on what programs you may be eligible for as part of the express entry. If you find value in these videos, let me know, and also any future topic that you would like me to go over, I'll appreciate it. So we do appreciate when you like our videos, when you share our videos. That gives us more motivation. So thanks for watching. Do subscribe and like the video. See you next time. Take care. Bye.